from an ancestry that gave the world civilization. The blood which flows through these veins is royal. Of the queens and kings of Africa, I reaffirm my commitment to that ancestry and to the present-day struggle of our people educationally, economically, socially, politically, and spiritually on this 4th day of February in the year of our Lord 2016, as we welcome you, beloved, to the 7th annual Harlem Fine Arts Show. Beloved, I am the Sister Minister Soretta C. McKnight, and I'm excited and delighted to be here, because being here and being with all of you, it's just like being with family. The Harlem Fine Arts Show was founded in 2009 by Ruth Clock, the CEO and president of JWD Enterprises Incorporated. It is my pleasure, beloved. It is my joy to bring to the stage now none other than the founder, the creator, the visionary enthusiast who put all this together in the person of our brother beloved, and you all should be clapping by now, Ruth Clock, JWD Enterprises.
Thank you very much, Tricia. Not only to New York, but as our journey is developed, we are now in Martha's Vineyard. We're in Chicago. We're in Atlanta. We're in Washington, D.C. We're going to the Bahamas this year. So we're going international, and it's all because of you. My thanks, and my company's thanks, and my family's thanks, because you are my family. We are fortunate enough to really do a salute and an unveiling of a great portrait that we have done of the Congressman.
Okay, let it go. We're gonna have to rent a wall. I want to thank all of you, because this means a lot to Alma and me as we wrap up the Washington part of the career that we've had. But I want to make it abundantly clear that the struggle goes on, and I will continue to be involved in that struggle right here. It's just shifted from Washington back to Lenox Avenue. Jan, you have really brought a sense of pride to all of us with the Harlem Fine Arts.
Beloved, on this edition of Sitting with the Sister Minister, we are just excited and delighted to be at the Harlem Fine Arts Show. And listen, one of the honorees this evening is none other than that debonair elder statesman of the United States Congress. We're talking about none other than the Honorable Charles Rangel. We call him Uncle Charlie. His portrait was unveiled tonight, and we just need to know, how do you feel about having that awesome portrait unveiled in your home community of Harlem?
Well, you said it, Reverend. When you said home community, we're not used to this type of portrait unveilings in Harlem. We've had this in Washington. But when it comes to the close of a congressional career, it's symbolic of really service here. And it's the audience more than the portrait. They have friends, family, all coming together in this beautiful church. They have your dynamic voice reaching out here. Now, it becomes an event, and it's something that we all can remember. So I feel very, very good. God has been very good to me.
Awesome. You and Miss Alma have stood tall as beacons of light in the community for so many years. Are you going to miss serving in the U.S. Congress, or do I get the feeling, the distinct feeling, that you're going to bring that same energy right on back to district and keep doing what you're doing as a private citizen?
You have to listen. When people tell my wife about retirement, she says, he doesn't know how to retire. And the struggle continues. I was born and raised in these streets, and if I was to get outside and go someplace, I could not breathe properly. So that, no, this is it. And it just means I'll be able to spend more time with the grandkids and my wife and do some things I wanted to do. And thank God we both have the health and willingness to do it.
Wonderful. Congressman, we love you. We thank you. God bless you as you prepare to depart after a very distinguished career down in Washington, D.C. and in our home district. God bless you, beloved.
Ain't over yet.
Beloved, that's the Congressman, the elder statesman of the New York delegation, none other than the Honorable Charles Rangel. We were getting ready to go, beloved, but look who I ran into. See, you all really want to know why the Congressman still looks as good as he does. Let me show you the reason. Miss Alma, God bless you.
Thank you very much. 50 years of marriage.
50 years. Does she look much older than that? What do they say? It don't crack. It don't crack.
Vintage. This is vintage.
I tell you, isn't that wonderful? Listen, I am just excited also, beloved, to have as part of this. These are movers and shakers. They have been beacons of light in our community. And my homie, Miss Inez on the city council. We're talking about Inez Dickens. God bless you, beloved.
God bless you, Sarita, and thank you for all that you have done. And when we have the next Harlem Fine Arts, I want you up there.
Thank you all so very much. I'm sitting with the sister minister before we are joined with our other honoree, and here she comes now in the person of B. Smith. How are you, beloved?
Hi, sweetie.
And of course,
Nice to be here with you.
it's good to have
Yes,
you here.
thank you.
Come on this side if you would be. Let me go this way.
Okay.
And you go here with Dan. And now this is what you call a dynamic duo right here. On this edition of Sitting with the Sister Minister, we are also excited to be here at the Harlem Fine Arts Show, and our second honoree is none other than B. Smith and Dan Gatsby, a dynamic duo, and certainly we all know them as restaurateurs extraordinaire, and of course you have represented our communities, our families over the generations for years. How are you doing, beloved?
I am doing great. You know, I do have some problems as far as my health is, but I see it turning and turning and turning around, and so it is moving.
We're doing what we have to do.
Dan, tell me, because this is a hard thing, and I can only imagine the grace and dignity that B is portraying to the world, and then you being right there with this challenge, if you will, this latest challenge. Tell us, how has it been? How is it? And how are you making out?
Well, you know what? Nothing is easy when you have to be honest. And what people don't understand is the only way to make it better for others is to be honest, one, with yourself, and then tell people what you're dealing with. Alzheimer's is a tough, tough thing. And that's why we are here tonight, because we want to let people know there is no shame. There's only the sense of making it better by telling the truth. And within our community, within the African American community, we so don't want to talk about the difficult things. And God says that, He helps those who help themselves. And, you have to have faith and prayer, but you also have to have action.
So in other words, you're saying it's good for us as born-again baptized believers to be able to pray, but then we've got to get up and know that faith without works is still dead.
Faith without works is dead, and it's also dead to the future of the people. And that's what we don't want to happen. And if we have to be emissaries of that, let us do it.
And you do it so well. And you are amazing.
Oh, well, thank you.
You have been amazing over the years, and I've watched you all over the years in the service that you've provided, and even with the beautiful restaurants and the books and the line of goods. I think that this is one of your greatest services, because you are not, Dan, as you said, running and hiding. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's something to be addressed.
God led us to this, and through all things, Jesus gives us strength, faith, and hope. We're going to make what we can out of this. To do good is to do for others.
Wonderful. Is there any organization or entity where we might be able to get in touch to be supportive of your efforts with this disease, with the Alzheimer's?
Yeah, the Alzheimer's Association, the ADDF, the Alzheimer's Drug Discovery Foundation, but more importantly, to go to your local ministries, to your pastors, and talk about it in the church. Talk about it and get the brothers and the sisters, the deacons and the deaconess, to say to the flock, who's there that's going through it, to acknowledge it, and then say, how can we make their lives better, but just as important, how can we make sure that our kids and our future grandkids don't go through this? And that's through prayer, faith, and then getting on the phone or on the email or letter and telling your local legislators, raise money, let the government spend money, because we are being disproportionately affected by this.
Good point. You've heard it, viewing family. You've heard it right here, and certainly we're going to follow this up. What I'm going to do is put you two on the spot and ask you if you would come out when I invite you, so we can do a round table and get into some of our churches and have forums to be able to enlighten folk. Is that something you might be able to do?
Well, you will certainly. You know what? Spreading the message is the gospel, and we believe in the gospel.
God bless you both. Thank you so much. The Harlem Fine Arts Show, beloved, is just on and popping up here at the Riverside Church. And you know, we brought you a lot of the superstars this evening. Well, we've got another one for you in the person of our newfound best friend and Sister Jeannie Gibson, who is with the
Bahamas Ministry of Tourism.
And the reason that Jeannie is here on behalf of the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism is because I understand Harlem's going to be heading to the Bahamas, but we have some special guests that are going to join us right now.
That's right.
Why don't you bring them on for us?
I will. The Bahamas Ministry of Tourism is actually one of the sponsors of the Harlem Fine Arts Harlem Fine Arts Show, that is. And as a result, we have brought 3 of our top Bahamian artists here to the show. But Ali Nash Ferguson is our Director of Culture and Heritage, and Arlene is going to tell us some about the Bahamas and the African-American roots.
Well, let me say, first of all, that it is an absolute privilege and pleasure for us to be here. The islands of the Bahamas and the African-American community have had a very long history of working together and moving together. And if I may just mention that in the 1920s, during the Harlem Renaissance, yes, Zora Neale Hurston came to the Bahamas to record our music and to record our stories. Now, tonight, and this weekend, we continue that wonderful partnership because we have brought 3 of our fine artists with us. We have a very strong cultural tradition, even though we are less than 50 miles away from the great United States of America. And so it is an absolute privilege to be here. And I want to invite all of your audience to come and join us in November. When the Harlem Fine Arts Show will be in Nassau, Bahamas. And as we like to say, we'll see you in November, man.
Wonderful, beloved, wonderful. Let me ask you this, because when we talk about the African diaspora, and we talk about the boats all leaving the motherland, and it stopover in Nassau, how does it feel now to find that folk are embracing that we are all the same people?
And the roots are even closer and deeper than that, because when the American Revolution ended in 1783, the Americans who had supported England had to leave this country. And they came to the Bahamas because they were granted free land in the Bahamas. They were called the Loyalists. Yes. There were white loyalists, there were black loyalists, there were blacks who had fought for England and they were promised freedom. It was the first time in our history that blacks outnumbered whites in the Bahamas. The roots are deeper than many people believe, and we are just delighted to continue that this weekend.
This weekend and then again in November.
In November, we'll see you there, man.
Wonderful, man. All right. God bless you, beloved. Thank you so much for stopping by. All right. Jeannie, I tell you, the minister was something else. She really laid it out for us. So tell me, we've got some of your premier artists here, because she spoke about there being artists from for artists in residence from the Bahamas here at the Harlem Fine Arts Show, and with you all being a sponsor. So I need for you to introduce some of them for us right now.
Absolutely. We have tonight with us Mr. Eddie Minnis, who is a very well-known Bahamian artist. Eddie has been doing art in the Bahamas in very many forms for very many years. He's known even more for his songs than for his art.
Are we going to hear you sing in November?
Oh, he's going to do some of everything for us. Eddie, tell them some about your work.
Yeah,
What type of media, Eddie?
I work primarily in oils with the palette knife.
Okay.
I got some samples downstairs.
Can we come in and film some of them?
Absolutely.
Great.
And I also work in watercolor, and as she says, I do a lot of island songs.
Okay.
And I used to do a satirical cartoon in the local newspapers for about 10 years.
Yes, and also with us tonight is Chantal Bethel. And Chantal has some of the most awesome work. Her work is so beautiful, and we've been getting so many comments on them. And Chantal is going to tell us more about her artistic career and how the Bahamas and the beautiful weather and everything like that has really contributed to it.
Absolutely. I was born in Haiti, actually, and très bien, merci. And I was educated in Belgium, and I've been in the Bahamas for the past 40 years, which is my home, the island of Grand Bahama. And I've been making art, I should say, for 20 years. But for the past 3 to 4 years, I've been using a very special medium, which actually got an award for International Women's Day, World Day of Prayer. And my work was used for all the booklets that were used for prayer around the world. And they were flamingos bowing to Christ. And I used crackle, which is an acrylic medium. And it's very time-consuming, and it's almost like meditation for me. And so I love doing. You must come downstairs.
I need one more to talk about the youngin, right?
Yes, we have a very outstanding young Bahamian artist. Believe it or not, he's self-taught. You won't believe it when you see his works. He is just absolutely outstanding.
And this is, we know the Oscar controversies going on that for 2 years straight, there's no blacks that's been nominated. And that's why I chose to be an activist through my artwork and show the fence that, hey, well, I heard arguments of the people who said there's been blacks who won or nominated in the past, but I've noticed that it's ironic that the movies that has won it from blacks has been linked to ancestral slavery or something like that. That's what the news represents. If, the last movie black movie that won an Oscar was 12 Years a Slave. And then prior to that was Octavia when she did For the Help. So it's always around, and I wanted to bring awareness. And as a Bahamian, to show that we know what's going on in America.
It's the same
and
struggle.
Yes.
That's what that picture
Yes,
depicts to me, that it's the
same thing,
struggle,
yeah.
And that you captured this.
Yes.
And how old are you, son?
I'm 31.
Okay,
Yes,
so
yes.
in other words, courage has not skipped this generation.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and I feel that as an artist, we have the responsibility to really, not just to paint a painting to be pretty, but to, as for me, I want to send a message to love our blackness and, to know that it's something great, to embrace the beauty within us, as I feel that, it's been lost and a lot the way that the media portrays us. We see what's going on in race relations in America and throughout the world.
Around the world. I'm sure you experience things, even though in the Bahamas we see a lot more color, working and doing and in charge. But I'm sure there are instances outside of that particular venue where it can
The influence still, from way back, we went from picking cotton to folding cotton in the hotel industry. Now, that's so nothing against hotels, but just saying, just saying.
So it's all, let me help the youngin' out. We want you all to love and experience his art, but clearly it demonstrates just how powerful this next generation of leadership that is coming along, the giftedness, the talentedness, and the fact that he's using this media.
That's right.
To be able to enlighten, share, encourage, and empower. So we thank you, beloved. We're coming down.
Yes, come to the Bahamas. We love beautiful people over there, so make sure you come.
All right, thank you so much. We'll be downstairs to see that live. Jeannie?
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. The islands of the Bahamas look forward to welcoming Harlem Fine Arts Show down to the Bahamas. And you know what they say, it's better in the Bahamas. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeannie. God bless you, beloved. All right. Beloved, I'm telling you, it just keeps getting gooder and gooder right here at the Harlem Fine Arts Show up here at the Riverside Church. I'm tickled pink, if I could be, or maybe purple. But I am beyond amazed at the legend that I have the blessing to be able to stand next to. And I'm talking about a pioneer in broadcast. I'm talking about a playwright, musicals. I'm talking about young people. I'm talking about the Mama I Want to Sing Foundation. She's a living legend, and I am just excited to be standing next to one of my sheroes in the person of Miss Vi Higginson.
Well, thank you so much. I'm delighted to be here, and I so enjoyed you on stage. You were amazing and full of life and energy. Great to be with you.
Tell me, thank you so much, sis, and forgive me if I fumble a little bit, but that's what happens when you're in the presence of greatness. Share with us the significance, you having the Mama I Want to Sing Foundation right here in Harlem,
Yes.
and the significance of the Harlem Fine Arts Show being in Harlem, and just the whole connecting of the dots, if you will, between the two.
Well, I'm an arts activist, and I feel that any community without the arts is half dead. That art is part of our survival. It's our music and our art that kept us alive and kept us sane, you know, through all the trials and tribulations. So we cannot forget who we are and where we come from artistically, or forget the contribution that we have made to American music. So when I see these young people who have no idea of what went before, and they have no idea that they are the survivors, and they are the best of the best. And therefore, they need to know whose shoulders they're standing on. So we want to encourage them to be heart and mind. We want to encourage them to live their art and to give of themselves and to serve themselves, their families, and their communities. And art should not be last. It should be up top.
You heard it from the arts ambassador activist herself, the living legend, Miss Vi Higginson. Are you glad to be here still, Vi?
I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to be among all these artists, and I'm glad to see so many people who are willing to support the arts, and that's what's important.
What's next for the Mama I Want to Sing Foundation? I can't let her get away.
Excited. I'm just thrilled with the kind of talent in our community. So we have a show for people who are over 55, and we have a sister show with young people as well. And we want to tell our stories and sing our songs and motivate, inspire, and elevate and fill ourselves and our hearts with love. And that's what we do when we tell our stories.
Beloved, we are excited. We're glad that we were able to get the grand dame herself, none other than the living legend, Ms. Vi Higginson. And listen, beloved, we're going to be in touch.
We'll be in touch because I want you to see Alive, 55 plus and kicking, and We Are, the new musical.
Alive 55, all right, Alive 55. Alive, tell me the name again.
Alive, 55 plus and kicking.
Alive 55 plus and kicking. We want to see you there. Thank you so much, beloved. Beloved, we are still at the Harlem Fine Arts Show at the opening reception, and look who I ran into. Now, I know many of you know this lady to my left right here, but just in case you don't, she is a business person extraordinaire. She is a patron of the arts, and I tell you, I don't think the Harlem Fine Arts Show would be in Harlem if it were not for the support of this sister here. I'm talking about none other than the legendary Ruth Clock.
Well, thank you, thank you. I've known Dion Clark when he was at Essence. And remember my wonderful organization, the Support Network?
Sure, are you
well,
kidding? Sure.
He helped us for about 4 or 5 years. He would bring $15,000 to $20,000 for our educational piece, where we took children from kindergarten all the way up to the 12th grade in independent schools.
Beautiful.
Education is, I never did, you know, I love public education. I like any kind of education.
So you're going to be here tomorrow for the Youth Empowerment Day. You'll be around?
I'm going to try.
Okay.
I'm going to definitely try to be here.
Wonderful.
This is a wonderful opportunity for art and just a great place to get together and see some people you haven't seen in a long time.
Ruth, tell us the significance, the real, what is your take when you start talking about the arts? What is the real significance of keeping the culture alive through such a
Very significant, extremely. This is our history. This is our life. And it's very important. And more people are getting involved with Black art. And the work that he's doing, which I will always continue to work with him, is extremely important. And this was his dream back 20, 30 years ago.
Yes.
To take art on the road, Black art, and it's just fantastic. He's doing a wonderful job.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we thank you so much for stopping by and sharing with the Sister Minister. And we're going to be in touch, Ms. Ruth, all right?
Definitely.
God bless you, beloved.
God bless you, too.
All right. We're back. Listen, I have the distinct pleasure and honor to be able to stand next to a dazzling diva in the person of Deborah Hamburg.
Amen.
Yes, from the Harlem
Shakespeare Festival.
Okay, you do know that Shakespeare did have some color. You understand that. That's the brilliance and genius of Shakespeare. Tell us about it, beloved. You're here at the Harlem Fine Arts Show, but connect the dots between Shakespeare in Harlem and the Harlem Fine Arts Show.
Well, Shakespeare in Harlem is a product of Take Wing and Soar Productions and the New Heritage Theater Group. And we've been producing Shakespeare and other classics here in Harlem for the last 13 seasons. It has been extremely wonderful. So we're here at the Fine Arts Show to celebrate artists. We love taking care of the artists. Our mission is to help classically trained artists of color reach their highest potential.
Beautiful.
Indeed, so we make sure that they get opportunities on the stage to do that.
Now just think if Nina Simone, who was a classically trained pianist, a classically trained musician, if she had had Shakespeare in Harlem back in the day.
Indeed, indeed. So I'm just blessed and grateful that we do have an opportunity to have Shakespeare in Harlem even now.
Now, you're serving in what capacity?
Well,
Deborah?
I am the producer. I'm the founder of the organization. And I produce the Harlem Shakespeare Festival along with Vosa Rivers. And we've been having a ball.
So in other words, when I call you later on and say we want to bring a group of young people, you'll be...
Absolutely. We bring young people all the time, and they love it. They love seeing themselves on stage.
And where do you perform at?
We perform all across Harlem, East Harlem, Central Harlem, and West Harlem.
Okay.
On the east side, we're at the PS 109. And on the Central Harlem, sometimes we're at the Schomburg, and sometimes we're at the Mist. And in West Harlem, we're at... sometimes we're in Schomburg in Central Harlem as well. But in West Harlem, we're at the Dorothy Maynard Theater. And in the park, Riverbank State Park.
That's the one I think I'm familiar with.
Yes, Anthony Cleopatra in the park, we did.
All right. Well, listen, Deborah Hamburg, we thank you very much. We're going to be in touch.
Yes.
Thank you for sitting with the Sister Minister.
Indeed.
Okay.
Blessings to you.
You too,
sister.
beloved.
Yes,
all right. Thank you. Beloved, we are about to wrap up. We're going to go downstairs. We're going to look at some artwork. We thank our sister Deborah Hamburg for stopping by the booth too, and for us to be able to be educated about Shakespeare in Harlem. So we're going to keep you posted, as she has already shared with us that we will be able to bring some of our young people. Hey!